Could you just shut up this goddamn class and let me have a break? Varatantu yelled out in the middle of class going on, where his master Brihaspati was teaching a very delicate secret of the Vedas. All of the students were listening, rapt attention on the level of intuition. But this Varatantu's brain got clogged up and stopped understanding anything. He protested abruptly in an uncivilized way, humiliating the Guru. He outstretched his legs and my dear friends, this physical body is just an outer covering. Not only animal form, but trees, birds, humans, ghosts, celestials and rishis' body are also just an outer shell. The jiva, the soul, the content is the one who presides over, who dominates, and he assumes different forms, goes through different situations and circumstances, suffers and enjoys, but through all these he only evolves, he purifies, he moves towards transcendental bliss. Varatantu was a disciple of sage Brihaspati. Once when sacred teachings on the Vedas were being imparted, he happened to do this. Then Brihaspati said, Varatantu, you are sitting like a bull and your brain has gone dull like a bull. So, this body form is not suitable for you. I am sending you where you will be more comfortable. So, you goddamn student, go become a terrible bull. And my dear friends, upon this curse, Varatantu turned into a terrible bull. He became a bull in Bengal state. Due to the upsurge of inauspicious karmas, he fell in bad company, then an association of demons. Later he turned into a demon himself. During his world conquest, Kansa fought with him terribly and won. And since then he began living in Mathura doing Kansa's work. He was enormous and could assume any form he wished. When every other way to kill Krishna failed, Kansa called him and explained the situation. And he happily agreed to go and kill this Krishna. He was sent on a mission to destroy Vrindavan and finish Krishna, my dear friends. As if he would dig up the whole earth and turn it into a pit, he was dashing his hoofs so hard and tossing walls and buildings and trees by his mighty horn so wildly that the gopas and gopis and cows began running helter-skelter, crying. One side of the surrounding wall of the city had been completely broken and had fallen on the earth, breathing hard, dripping foam from his mouth. The bull was running, staring with red big eyes, lifting up his tail. All began crying and took refuge in Krishna. Krishna Krishnedite sarve govindam sharanam yayo. Shukdev Maharaj describes Atatarhyagado Goshtam Marishto Vrishabhasura Mahima Gagudmaya Gampayan Mahim Mahagagutkaya Kambayan Kuravikchatam Brahmamana Kardaram Padacha Vilikhan Mahim Udyamya Vajjam Viprani Vishana Graina Chotaran. Then what happened? Tam Tirna Lingamudviksha Gopyo Gopana Dutraso Pashavo Dutravurveda Rajan Santitya Gokulam. And what they did? Krishna Krishna Dide Sarve Govindam Sharanam Yayo. Krishna Krishna Dide Sarve Govindam Sharanam Yayo. Krishna 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 Krishna. Hey Govind, Oh Krishna, oh beloved of our life, please protect us, Trahimam, Trahimam. Sri Krishna heard and said, Ma Bhaisteti Giraswasya. Fear not, O dearest one, I am here with you. Don't worry. He assured them. Krishna had just returned from the forest. He had taken his bath in Nanda's palace river with his brothers and cousins and was going to take dinner. But he then said, Mom, wait, a bull has come, just coming back. After having a look, okay? Bull? What kind of bull? You have to eat your dinner first. Wait, Yashoda mom said. But by then, Krishna was already gone, almost running. On the street, everyone was running helter-skelter. Suddenly they stopped and began looking where Krishna was running so fast. A few friends joined him. Don't be afraid, this is no bull but a monster, a big ogre. Just be behind me and see, I am calling him, he said, and assured all the Gopas and Gopis. He said he clapped his thighs so loudly that it sounded like thunderbolt had broken half Dome in Yosemite, or like the roaring of Niagara at flood time. Aristasur looked up and stared at Krishna. Krishna said, Idiot! Why disturb the cows and Gopas? Come to me, I am here. Your death is standing right here. Come fast. I have no time. Let me kill you first. And he placed his left arm on the shoulder of his friend relaxingly and smilingly watched. Just like a thunderbolt released from the hands of Indra, Arista rushed past, lowering his head and pointing his horse to attack Krishna. Krishna lifted his hand from the shoulder of his friend and caught hold of those two horns with both hands very tightly, strongly. Then he pushed him for 18 steps back. Arista stumbled, and Krishna gave him such a strong jerk that Aristasur fell down on his back, 4 feet in the air. Krishna was back with his friend. His hand went again on the shoulder of his friend, and he began looking as if nothing had happened and no danger was going to come. By then a crowd had gathered. They were applauding this heroic act. Aristasur arranged himself and stood up and waged another fierce attack. As soon as he came close, Krishna leaped up, caught hold of his horns, and as you squeeze a wet cloth to wring out the water, Krishna went on turning his heavy fat neck. He fell down on the ground, tossing and turning. Then he ripped off both of his horns and started beating him until his eyes popped out, bones broke, blood flew, and he died. Immediately young illustrious Brahmin student appeared. He bowed down to Krishna and with folded hands he said, My Lord, I am Varatantu, the student of Brihaspati. I was suffering from the curse of my Guru. I had insulted him. And he told the story of his misdeed. At last he took leave and went to his Guru's abode. And to complete his course, all of the Gopas ran down and embraced their little hero who always succeeds in any extremely mysterious and dangerous situations, accidents. Then came Madhumangal staring at the dead Arista. He said, Krishna, you killed a bull, so what take bath immediately and offer me some donation, some dakshina, and don't forget, some sweet balls are very necessary. This donation will purify you from the sin you have committed killing a bull. And Krishna smiled and all Gopas laughed. Okay, great Brahminji, Bhadra said, pointing at dead Arishta bull. This bull is all yours now, except this dakshina, this is donation, great donation. Peals and peals of laughter echoed. No. You just keep that. That's yours. I can be satisfied only with sweet balls of rasgulla and cham. That will be great. Krishna, will you give me that? That will also purify you from the great sin, my dear. There appeared Nandra and Yashoda, truly holding a golden ball full of perfuming, soft, white, aromatic rasgullas, and they fed him right there on the spot. Yashoda inspected her son from tip to toe, checking his palms and limbs to make sure everything was okay. It was Phalguna month, dark fortnight. It was cold now, but Krishna took another bath. Then all of his friends joined him for dinner. They are so happy that the day with Krishna hasn't ended yet. Feasting continued with soft music and few gopis dancing. Yashoda was deliriously happy. All the joys of the whole world had accumulated in her bosom, and glancing, filled with nectarine motherly enthusiasm, she fed the very best of their choice in abundance to all the Brajavasis, Gopas and Gopis. My dear friends, and the feast continued on and on. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.